Who are the biggest winners and losers after NFL free agency? We're going to get in that today. What teams did well? What players did not get the contracts that they desired? We're going to break all that down and more. Before we get into that, though, if you are joining us for the first time, make sure you subscribe to us here on YouTube, Big Game Energy Sports, but also get us over there on TikTok and Instagram as well. We post daily content all throughout the offseason. A team that is the biggest winner, in my opinion, after the first wave of free agency. They're a team that had a very rough year last year, came into the offseason with a lot of holes to fix, but I really like what the Las Vegas Raiders have done. Now, it was a very eventful first wave. Obviously, the big move they made was before free agency when they traded away Max Crosby to the Baltimore Ravens. More on that in a sec. Then they signed Tyler Linderbaum to the biggest contract a center has ever gotten in NFL history, and there's a large gap between him and the next guy. But also re-signing guys like Eric Stokes, adding good linebacking depth with Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, one of your boys from the Eagles. And I really have always liked watching Jalen Nailor from his time with the Vikings. He's always one of those guys I watched because I have a fantasy football interest in watching Justin Jefferson. And yeah, I was always getting mad when Jalen Nailor was scoring all the touchdowns and getting all these receptions. And that tells me usually that he's a pretty solid player. I really like a lot of what the Raiders did. And now with the trade with the Ravens backing out of this trade, Max Crosby back with the Raiders, it's possible that the Raiders, after all that off-the-field drama with Max Crosby, he might be back in the fold for that team. And so now you're looking at keeping your franchise cornerstone happy, sees all the moves that they've made, and he's back in the fold now. They still could trade him, but man, what a 180 of an offseason. And all of this is before they draft Fernando Mendoza first overall.
Yeah.
They've got some pieces around him that make sense. So the Raiders, I think, were big winners.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. The only thing I'll push back on all this, they're doing all of this for third in the AFC West. If that's what we're calling it, third in the AFC. And they might still be fourth, depending on how miraculous Pat Mahomes comes back from his ACL tear. But no, I agree with you. I love what they've done. I get it. These teams that are bad that have all this cap space, spend the money, build up these rosters. And I love Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean. They trying to build the Georgia Raiders. Let's see if that works for them. It's worked for the Eagles and some other teams. But I'm with you. I still do think that the Raiders will trade Max Crosby because I'm with you. I know you like Naylor, but I do think if they would have been able to get that 14th pick from the Ravens, let's say they had kept it, the trade it went through, I do believe they would have drafted a receiver, the USC receiver, Lemon. That would have been perfect. I think then this team is shooting on all cylinders. So I can't disagree with you on the Raiders. I think they were a big winner. Another team I think that spent a lot, maybe not get as good as the Raiders, but I do like what the Titans done. You just put little pieces all around in little areas. Wan'Dale Robinson, and then, 3 cornerbacks. Lord Jesus, this league is all about passing, and these receivers in the division for the AFC South on top of the conference. You need corners to lock down these number one receivers. So I like what the Titans did. I don't expect them to do anything crazy either in the AFC South, but at least it shows me like, hey, we sucked last year and we need to do whatever the F we need to do to get over this because we don't have much until they decide maybe to exercise. And I know it's still a while from now, but when Cam Ward decides to get paid, because all these other guys will keep getting paid. A winner in my eye, Rico Dowdle going to the Steelers. I really liked that deal. Now, of course, it doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense on who the quarterback is in that situation, but
we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be at this point.
We don't even know. It's just, who knows? I've heard Kirk, heard Aaron. Who knows at this end? But yeah, I would say what he did with Carolina, moving on, definitely. I can't wait to see him exceed and flourish in the Steelers because they just lost Kenneth Gainwell to the Bucs. I really thought it was a good signing for the Steelers.
On to the negative side of things, though, James, I am a Texans fan.
Oh,
so seeing the Indianapolis Colts have just a disastrous offseason has been music to my ears. I feel like what the Colts have done this offseason, and I'll get into what their moves were in a sec, I feel like this has cemented that Chris Ballard, the GM, will be fired after this season for what he did this offseason.
Right.
Their big move was re-signing Alec Pierce, and they were very happy to do it, and they were excited that they got him back. But Alec Pierce is now going to be making 4 years, $114 million. He is going to be making more this season than the following players. If you hear any of these guys that Alec Pierce is actually better than: Jalen Waddle, DJ Moore, George Pickens on the franchise tag, probably gets a new deal, probably exceeds Alec Pierce. But for now, on the franchise tag, Alec Pierce makes more than George Pickens. Jameson Williams, your boy Devontae Smith, my boy Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton. All of these guys are going to be making less money next season than Alec Pierce. Now, I understand how free agency and the market works and how NFL contracts always fluctuate, and it helps to go to free agency and re-sign contracts like this. Like, that's how it works. I get that. But is Alec Pierce really that big of a priority for you to re-sign him? You could have let him walk and got a third-round compensatory pick next season, not have to trade Michael Pittman, which they had to do as a result of them giving out this massive contract. And for multiple years, he was the true wide receiver one. I guess we see where he was in the pecking order now. But you do, that's your big move. And then you double down on bad contracts where you give Daniel Jones, who was already struggling before he tore his Achilles, and then he tore his Achilles. You give him 2 years, $88 million, which, again, in the quarterback landscape, really not that bad. But you're committing to him for these next 2 years, and we don't even know what you're going to get from him
next year.
Meanwhile, Braden Smith, Kwity Paye, Zaire Franklin, and Michael Pittman all leave your team. All leave their team. I feel like the Colts, barring some crazy trade, some crazy draft pick, I truly feel like they are a lock. With what you said about the Titans, I agree. I think the Titans made some good moves as well. I feel like based off of that and the Titans' activity, the Colts are guaranteed to be last in the AFC South next season.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this. My biggest gripe about it all is the Daniel Jones signing. We get it. The team was excellent at the time, and then, like you mentioned, things started falling off. Then you tear your Achilles. This is not a meniscus, not an Achilles, and you sign this guy to basically, unless people are just like shooting up roids or doing something, Spence, that I don't know. I don't see Daniel Jones coming back, because by the time he may be healthy to play, it's going to probably be week 13. And this team is not going to be in the running with the Jags and with the Texans in that division. Hell no, they're not going to be doing anything. Why not go for someone like Kyler Murray, who I think right now is the biggest loser in the quarterback realm? Like, I'm pretty sure we agree. We thought he was the best quarterback in this free agency with the position.
I agree.
And to still not get signed, like, to a team begging vet minimum, 10-year deal, whatever it is, for Kyler not to get signed yet. And I know we think he'll go to Minnesota, and that hasn't happened yet. But I thought the Colts could have just done this again to just get Kyler, fill in the Daniel Jones thing. And if Kyler blows it up, guess what? It was a 1-year deal. But if he succeeds, then it's like, okay, do I want to proceed with Kyler, or do I want to proceed with Daniel Jones? And I'm with you. I thought the Colts slipped this year. A loser of mine, Spence. I think this guy got paid because of his name. And I don't like Bradley Chubb's deal with the Bills. It's a 3-year, $44 million contract. The only reason why I don't like it is because how much is he getting paid? When you rank all the pass rushers and pass success, he was 82nd last year. And when you're getting paid that high, it's okay if you're like 20th in the league in pass rate. So for me, I just felt like the Bills signed a guy because of his name and of whatever he did in the past.
His status, he was high draft pick.
A loser that everyone keeps poo-pooing on, Spence, But all these people saying the Falcons are a loser for getting Tua, I find insane. You get the guy for $1 million. It's basically free money.
True.
If you're telling me why sign Tua because of health, I'm not going to debate you on it. But what is the worst case scenario you got with Tua? You know Michael Penix ain't playing. So the worst case you may get, and everyone says Tua's one hit away. Tua's one hit away. God dang, man. He's going to be playing on that nice turf in freaking Atlanta. It's not MetLife. And hopefully his offensive line will block a lot better than the freaking Dolphins did. But in my eye, I think Tua is not that big of a loser because he's still going to get paid with the Dolphins. Then he's going to Atlanta. And who's his weapon, Spence? You love the guys in Atlanta.
I do.
Don't get me wrong. Am I saying the Falcons are going to freaking win 10 games? Hell no. Because I don't believe in Tua's health either. But damn, man. Quit acting like Tua's a bum, man.
I not only agree with you that the Falcons were not as big of losers as people are making it out to be, I think they have the potential to have a really sneaky good signing here next season. Jahan Dotson. I don't know why. I've been a fan of this guy since he was a Commander, and he was buried in the depth chart in Philly. Had a couple of good moments, a big catch in the Super Bowl.
A big catch.
I think he's talented. I really do. And he's going to be replacing Darnell Mooney. I think he is going to be a better player. I think he's a better player than Darnell Mooney. He'll fit better for Atlanta opposite of Drake London in that offense. And for fantasy football owners, hallelujah, Bijan Robinson is on his own. Finally, Tyler Algier is gone. He's gone to Arizona. Bijan Robinson's going to eat. Fantasy football, we are winners because we are happily drafting all the Atlanta Falcons.
And plus, I'll say this. Disregard health. It is the NFC South that we're talking about. Come on. No one believes in the Panthers except me. Maybe there's some bias in these Alabama quarterbacks. But look what the Bucs did. The Bucs let their legendary receiver go, Mike Evans, which he'll probably tear his Achilles in practice in San Francisco.
Yeah, that substation's still there.
Yeah, whatever with the power plant, whatever with all that crap. The NFC South, what did we think last year? We thought, oh, this is the Bucs division. And there was a three-way tie with the Falcons, the Carolina Panthers, and the Bucs, all for 8 and 9. So you're telling me, and mind you, the Falcons didn't get there to that record with Michael Penix. They got that record with freaking Kirk Cousins the last 4 games of the year and won 4 in a row. And they let Kirk walk. So I do believe Tua will be fine.
Who were the biggest winners? Who were the biggest losers in the NFL after free agency? Y'all let us know down below, and we'll see y'all next time on Big Game Energy.
Man, we forgot about Trey Hendrickson. He's going to sack Joe Burrow 6 times week 1.